Hi there groovyPost, this is TW96. Today you'll get the chance to show off your full potential and your creativity because I'm going to be teaching you how to create your own orb icon in Photoshop. Go ahead and open up Photoshop, click File, New, then pick a name for your document. I'm going to type in orb and select the width and height for your document. So personally I'm going to use 500 by 500 pixels because this way I'm going to be able to fit a perfect circle in there. So once you're happy, press enter and you'll be in your document. So begin by selecting the elliptical marquee tool. So that's right under the move tool, and to access it you have to right click the rectangular marquee tool and select elliptical marquee tool. Alright, now that we've got the tool we want, press and hold shift on your keyboard and then click and drag to create a circle. So make it fill almost the entire document, then move it to the upper left of the document. Right click, select transform selection, and again by holding down the shift key on your keyboard, drag the lower right anchor point. Get it just to the edges of the document and then press enter. You have a perfect selection, which is a nice round circle that fits the entire document perfectly. Now we're going to fill in this selection to make it an orb. Right click, select fill. So you can use black, 50% gray, and white. You can also use a custom color by clicking color and selecting a color from the color picker or the Adobe Photoshop color libraries. For this one I'm going to use white because I think that'll fit the best. I'm going to click OK. Then I'll right click and I'll click deselect. So my orb is done, but it definitely needs a lot more work. Now I'll right click on the layer, select blending options, and we're going to start off with some bevel and emboss. So click that, make sure you have an inner bevel and that the technique is smooth. You can play around with the sliders, the direction, the softening, and everything else that's given here. Personally I like to keep these settings as default. I only change the depth to 100%, the size to 10 pixels, and the softening to 5 pixels. So that gives it a nice shade at the bottom, nice bevel there. So we'll continue with a gradient overlay. Click the gradient and you can select from one of the presets that are already given, or you can make your own. So I'm going to start with foreground to transparent, and I'm only going to change this color to a nice medium shade green, just like so. Now that we've got our gradient and we're happy with it, you can play around with some of the other settings, such as I think I'm going to reverse this one. You can increase or decrease the scale. I like to keep this at about 60. And of course you can choose the style of the gradient. This can be linear, radial, and all the other styles that you're given. So now that we're happy, we can press OK, and this is going to be our orb for now. Now let's create a new layer and grab our brush tool. So now you want to make sure that you have a very big brush which covers about 85% of your orb. And you want to make sure that the hardness is set to 0%, exactly 0, not 1, 0%. You want an incredibly soft brush. So now get to the center of your document and click once to give your orb a nice glow. So you can do this with white as you see here, but I personally think I'm just going to choose a different shade of green. You can also get a different shade of the color you chose, like so, a click or two, and we have a perfect orb glow. So now you can adjust the opacity of this by going to the layer opacity, dragging the slider to the left and to the right. I'm gonna keep mine at 75% so that it's not too intense. And now we've got our orb almost complete. We're gonna click on File, Place, and we can put in a logo. For example, here's our website logo. I'm gonna click Enter, and you can see that creates a new layer right over here. So the blending options we did to the other layers, we can apply all those same options here too. So right click, select blending options, and you can play around with all the different blending options that you're given. So for this one, I think I'm gonna give it just a little bit of outer glow. It's gonna be white. Make sure the size is somewhere around 65 pixels, and I'm gonna get the opacity all the way down to about 40. So I'm very happy with these results. I'm gonna click OK, and now you see our logo has a very nice outer glow. So here's the last step. You gotta give your orb that nice shiny look at the top. You're gonna click the create new layer icon. You're gonna grab your elliptical marquee tool again, and this time you're not going to press the shift key on your keyboard. You're just going to drag like this, and then position your selection somewhere at the top of the orb. Make sure it covers the edges very nicely. Right click and select feather. So the more you feather your selection, the bigger amount of the orb the glow is going to cover. But if you don't feather it enough, it may not have much of an effect at all. So I'm gonna go pretty high here. I'm gonna feather it about 15 pixels, which may in fact be too much. Now let's select a gradient tool. First off, we want to make sure both our foreground and background colors are white. Select the gradient tool and pick foreground to transparent from the presets. Click OK, and then while holding the shift key on your keyboard again, simply click and drag down somewhere from the center. Drag down. So now you see we've got a very nice glow. You can even make the glow a little bit bigger, like so. So those are the finishing touches for your orb. If you're happy with the results, you can click File, Save As. I'm going to put this on the desktop. If you want to keep the transparency, make sure you save it as a Photoshop format or a PNG format. For this one, I'm going to use PNG. Don't interlace it. And there's our orb right there. So thanks for watching this groovy tutorial. For more tutorials, visit groovyPost.com, and we'll see you next time.